Um, I just wanted to talk to you as self to self. Um, it's cold and it's gray outside, which is not bad. Um, I think it's pulling you inwards, which is what it's supposed to do. Um, it's pulling you into your body, it's pulling you into warmth, which is why you're in bed a lot because we chase warmth um, when it's gray and it's cold outside. Um, Anything that's to be found outside, it's kind of out of necessity um, or a desire to move. I know going on a walk would be really useful and grounding, but having a mattress beneath us is also really grounding. So, two wolves. Um, I don't know if I'd label what is going on inside your body as depression, um, because there's nothing to be apathetic about or to be sad about. Um, we're in our apartment and it's beautiful. There are green things lining the windowsills. Um, it's lively, it's warm, it's curated, it's a nest, it's ours, you know? Um, we pay for everything that goes inside of it. Do you remember when that used to be kind of a dream um, to be the person that was upholding the life that we wanted to live? To be the person that was cutting that check, you know? It seemed silly to be like, to spend so long dreaming about that. Um, I get to cut the check. I get to be the person who takes this on because it means that I can do it. It means I'm supporting myself. And nothing exists in a vacuum, obviously, you know? It's taken a lot of support, external support to get here. And nests take, it takes a village, I guess, to raise the life that you want. Like having a kid, you can't do it by yourself. So the dream isn't individualistic. Um, what is what is missing? It's slow. Slow isn't bad. It's neutral, but it's slow. Um, it feels like building. It feels like laying foundations. That's the frustration. Why are we still laying foundations? How long do you lay foundations for? Well, I guess that's like a funny question. I used to go with my mom when she first started, I guess, building houses. After school, she'd pick me up and she'd take me to, sometimes it would be like the land would be overgrown and people would have to clear it out. And so you got to see it, these homes being built from the ground up. I'm not romanticizing that. It took a lot of labor. Um, but you know, um, building only goes as far as there's resources being poured into them. A house could take 5 years to build. You can have a foundation for a year if there's no cement and if the scaffolding can't be done because you don't have money for materials, then you just have a foundation sitting there. It's not the house that it's going to be yet. It only becomes when all of the materials are kind of set in place and the flow of something is fueled by how much resources you can pump into it. So a house could be built in a year, if everything was just flowing. And I keep being confronted with the knowledge that I want more a lot. Um, and that any times I feel stagnant, it's because I don't actually want a regular life. I love being safe. I love being warm. I love having access to all of my needs. I love being able to buy groceries. I love seeing friends week to week. Um, I love reading a book by myself. I love the kind of flow of regular life, but it's not enough for me. I just want more. Um, my therapist has been encouraging me to say things that feel difficult to say, but are true. But I worry about how they sound out loud, and so I don't say true things. It's not easy for me to say things that feel true. I am not a regular person. Um, I struggle with this idea of delusions of grandeur because I don't think that they're delusions. I struggle with the idea of narcissism um, because I think I deserve to be narcissistic. I struggle with the idea that I should be grounded and humble. Um, humility is good. Humility is grounded. Grounding is necessary. But I don't think I belong like on the ground, you know? Why is that so hard to say? What's I know it's true. It's true and it's true and that's why it's hard. Um and I spend a lot of time by myself because of it. Or I spend a lot of time in kind of close knit circles. I only really like to be around like a handful of people. Like in a in an interpersonal kind of intimate way. I only really like to have a handful of people in my circle. Um because I feel like the more energy, I think whatever my energy is really potent. It's really concentrated, and the more time I spend with a lot of people, it's like being diluted. And I'm not scared of being diluted. I just know that I'm not supposed to be. And so this thing of like, oh, I spend a lot of time by myself. Um, I really, really pick and choose where I go and who I'm with. Um, I set these kind of like really firm boundaries of you might want to offer me like you might open the door for me to enter your life, but I may not go in, or it might take me a year to decide that I want to accept that invitation, um, because I have to make sure that it feels right, and I have to prioritize being concentrated, um, not being diluted, making sure that wherever I go and whoever I'm with, is not attempting to dilute me. There's more. There's always more, but there's more. I know what it looks like. I'm just ready for a phase change. I am so bored. I don't miss madness. I don't miss being on the brink of insanity. Um, and so it's good that things got boring. It's good that things slowed down. It's good that everything went back to basics. Feed yourself, um, do something pleasurable, sleep when you're ready to sleep, do what feels right and nothing else. It's good. It was good. It was necessary. But the lights are back on. And that thing in me is alive again. And it wants things. It wants big things. And life just feels so regular right now. I've been in this community of people who say things like, you just have to decide that it's done and it's done. And I decide that 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 it's done. And it's not done. And that's frustrating. Because then the only response is, well, if it's not done, it means that you decided that it wasn't done. But I decided that it was done. That's been frustrating. Some of the narratives from people who love me or whatever tend to be like, well, there's a plan. The universe has this big plan. The timing has all been decided and it's all based on lessons and whatever. And I feel caged by whatever that universal plan is that I didn't ask for, or whatever the timeline that I was set on that I didn't ask to be set on. I didn't ask for anyone to decide my timeline for me. I didn't ask anyone to decide what lessons it was that I needed to learn. I didn't ask for that. And if that, and if I have no choice in that, like, yeah, greatness is coming, whatever. It's just about timing. It's just, you just have to close this like 10-year cycle and then you can walk through this portal and then everything's going to happen really quickly. And it's like, I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for that. I didn't ask for a prophecy. I didn't ask to be chosen. I didn't ask to be set on some grand plan that I have no choice in. Um, and the only way to participate is to learn what some external factor or force wants me to learn, and then I get rewarded with the things that I want. That's like so, that's like such a bullshit concept. Um, and it gets packaged as spirituality, but it's basically just Christian theology. It's basically just prosperity gospel. It's just, yeah, it's just the same narrative. You only get good things when you struggle, which is not true. Um, and I hate it. I hate it. If that is what I'm locked into, if that's the contract that my soul signed or whatever, it was a bad deal. And if the only way to change that is to like die and come back and sign a different contract, that's also a bad deal. Or you get reincarnated and you have to learn the same lessons over and over until you break out the cycle, and then you can be at peace. And it's like, that's also bullshit. That's a bullshit concept. Why don't, if my soul signed the contract, why can't my soul say no deal? If my soul signed the contract, at what point do I get to wake up as a soul thing and be like, that was a bad contract. I don't want to be in that anymore. I'm done. I'm breaking out the contract. What are you going to do? Who decides for me? That's the thing. Who decides for me? I need to shower.